Hey, so I just saw a video on Facebook of a teacher going at it with another student in her classroom in front of all the other students. And a few of my friends were talking about it on Facebook, and I wanted to go and see it, and I recognized that the video is also it's on TVJ as well. I am stunned by this, but I'm also not surprised, because something like this doesn't happen out of the blue. And I have questions like, what would cause a teacher to get to this point? This doesn't seem like it started yesterday. And it seems to me that it's quite possible that she's working in conditions that are heavily under resourced and unsupported. For her to think that she could speak to a student in this kind of a way, and to not even consider, to be beyond the point where you would consider the consequences of your actions like this. Now, I was very happy for the kids. I'm really happy that the students are able to understand their power, in terms of the use of social media to advocate for yourself. Like, I'm like, yes, this is good for them to know that they have the power to do this. But unfortunately for her, the consequences of having this incident so visible, putting into question whether she should continue to be able to teach students. Because even if I cannot afford to send my children to other schools that are have to other schools, I don't necessarily think that I would want this teacher to teach my child, because clearly the burden of teaching under the conditions that you're teaching is is too much, and I don't necessarily want your frustration to be taken out on my child. No, let's say my child is not the problem child, the one that the teacher was talking to. I wouldn't necessarily want my child to witness their classmate colleagues to be handled in this kind of a way publicly by your teacher, the person who is supposed to be to have your best interest at heart, who wants you to grow to become a particular kind of human being, who wants to educate you, and then to have them handle you this kind of a way. Like, I'm not sure that I would want that person to be teaching my child, and therefore I would question whether I would want this woman to continue teaching at all. Now, the fact that this has now gone public, I, I am very keen to see what the administrations of this school will do as a repercussion of this action, because this kind of a behavior, no matter how under pressure and stressed and under resources you are, it's not okay. Even though I can understand, and sometimes I boy, it's really a tough one. Another thing that it brought up for me was, it's so damaging for us, for our young people, to be expected to grow up and to be people who have control over themselves and are able to lead their own lives and to make good decisions and to have power over themselves. But yet, as a society in Jamaica, we tend to do everything that we can to make sure that we're able to wield power over children. And the way we wield that power over those children is either this way or be punished for it. And I think, and this is from when I was in school, that, we are supposed to, as children, are supposed to push the boundaries. They're supposed to feel themselves. They're supposed to negotiate conflict with people who are older than them and different forms of power. So I don't necessarily think that kids are doing wrong when they make it difficult for teachers, but we have to figure out a way how to accommodate that but still maintain mutual respect and the agreed upon code of conduct for the institution that you're in. And so it just some of my friends were, standing beside the teacher saying that we don't know what teachers go through. And Patricia said, my friend on Facebook and in real life said that she has seen teachers who have come first day of school and left after that. So I'm in no way saying that teaching, is an easy profession. It is not. And as time goes by, it becomes even more and more difficult. But this kind of a behavior cannot continue. With that said, what kind of resources do we offer to teachers in terms of their mental health and in situations like this when they feel overwhelmed? Like, why don't we have these things as a part of um the structure of teaching? Who is taking care of the teachers when they are in under-resourced um working environment, dangerous working environment? Like, how do us as a society expect these teachers to take care of themselves? How do we expect them to go to university and spend years upon Michael and then come out having these high expectations and hope for educating the future, and recognizing that, oh wow, I have to deal with children not having any manners, not being able to respect me, kids testing the boundaries of my power in a classroom, and on top of that, low wages, on top of that, long working hours, hours of going home and marking. Like, how do we expect our teachers to deal with those things? And I think we have to start having a conversation about to how we're going to move forward. How can this help other teachers who have been pushed to this point? It just haven't been recorded. Who is one step shy from actually boxing down a student? Like these questions are necessary. I have questions about this because it cannot continue like this. And unfortunately, you know, if this woman loses her job, which I would not be against, but what next? What do we expect? Like, how would we move forward? Because that that alone is not going to solve the problem, because the problem is beyond this single incident. Anyway, I just saw it and I am flabbergasted, and I couldn't write this all in a Facebook post. So I said I wanted to say something. This is specifically for you, Patricia. I know you're an amazing teacher. So, but I get your point. But it's something that we need to talk about some more, because there is a lot going on in this incident, and the problem I also have as well is the fact that I see that it's on TVJ, and then the public tend to just chastise, criticize, and lay blame, but then we don't have deeper discussions about how we're going to fix this